everyone, so I hope I'm not alone here, but I have definitely been going through waves, like different waves of energy throughout quarantine. I've had weeks where I've been super productive, and then this last week I noticed and realized that I have just felt really drained. I want to kind of normalize that feeling too, that it's okay to not be so productive 24/7. That is completely okay. And I've given myself a little bit of room to breathe this last week. I also realized that I hadn't taken like a single day of vacation. I didn't feel like I earned it because I'm always at home. I just haven't allowed myself to be lazy. I definitely am in some ways, but I think kind of embracing laziness can sometimes be really valuable. I thought maybe we'll put on some makeup and let me show you how I would do my makeup if I want to put on makeup and I want to feel a little bit more put together, but I'm also just feeling a little bit lazy. I just wanted to show you guys the sort of makeup look that I will put on when I want my skin to look like skin. I want it to be fast and I just want to feel a little bit more put together. So if you enjoyed today's video, I would love for you to give this video a thumbs up. And of course, if you like my vibe, I would love to have you back on my channel. So make sure to subscribe before you go as well. And with all of that, let's just jump right in. So first up, even with a like lazy girl sort of makeup look, I always prep my skin because when I'm lazy with my skin prep, I notice that my makeup does not look great. So going in with my Bobbi Brown Vitamin Enriched Face Base. A lot of you already know the deal with this one, but I think it's especially important when I am feeling a little bit tired, a little bit lazy, to use a primer that's really going to make your skin look vibrant and a little bit healthier. And I just always find that this primer does that for me. It gives the skin a nice moisturized base. It has a touch of glow, but it doesn't read as a glowy primer on the skin. It just looks like your skin is naturally in good condition once you have it on. Like honestly, on a very lazy day where I didn't want to put on makeup at all, if I could just put this on its own, you see how it just gives that sort of light back to the skin? It has a very subtle blurring effect too as well. Such a buttery, beautiful product. So next let's get into the base. So very normally, I will apply a foundation that I really enjoy. I've really been liking the Kick-Ass foundation from Soap & Glory. You can see I'm almost out. But if I'm feeling really lazy, I'm really not going to want to put on foundation or have makeup all over my face. So a concealer with about a medium coverage that leans more dewy or more skin-like is really going to be your best friend when you're feeling lazy, because this kind of concealer is not going to look odd in the places that you haven't applied concealer. I hope that you haven't been listening to that ice cream truck outside this entire time. And if you have, I apologize and no, you are not going crazy. For me, I think really brightening the under eye is going to make the rest of the face look really awake as well. So I like to take it into this inner area because this is where the most darkness is in my eyes, this sort of hollow, and I will apply that. I'll zoom you in a little bit. Yeah, I apply it under the eyes and then I'll just take the doe foot and just put it in the areas where I typically get red. So around the nose, on a couple of spots I have there, a little bit on the chin, a little bit onto the cheeks, and maybe just a touch on the forehead, a little bit onto the forehead, and down the nose. I don't have a lot of product on the face. I love when my skin looks like skin, and that's very important with me, even when I am doing lazy makeup, which is why, again, it's really important to prep the skin. So I feel that it's really key that you work with a concealer that's really blendable and movable. Do not work with a concealer that's super cementy or very tacky, because you really want this to just blend into the skin very seamlessly. And that will make sure that you're not really noticing the concealer on the skin. You're not noticing where the actual pigment starts and stops. So I am just taking a little sponge and very lightly tapping it out right now, and just in general on the skin. The concealer is not traceable whatsoever, but this is very quick too. So you really are able to get the best of both worlds. And now that it's all blended out, I can add a little bit more concealer to the areas that I want a little bit more concealed, and I know where I want to do that. And I like to use a finger when I want a little bit more coverage under the eyes. Great, so the skin looks good. We look a little bit more awake. Getting into the rest of the face, I think you could go a couple of different ways with this. For me, like lazy, quick makeup. For me, with lazy and quick makeup, it's really about going back to the products where you're like, I know 100% every single time I'm going to use this product, it's going to look good. So a product like that for me is the Honest Beauty blushes. It gives such a beautiful pop to the cheeks, but it's a cream blush that I think won't look very apparent on the skin, especially if you are just using a concealer. So what I'm going to do is take a little bit of Peony Pink, and I'm just going to add a little bit onto the cheeks. And because the finish is so skin-like, because the product is so blendable yet pigmented, it just looks so skin-like and it looks so fresh, but this is also going to last on the skin, which I really like. It's going to give you that light and that pop to the skin without it fading super quickly. Very fresh and super lifelike once it's actually applied. Now again, there are certain steps that I will skip. Some people feel it's really important to go in with a bronzer. Some people feel it's important to go in with a highlight to really bring some light to the cheeks. But if you're working with a good product, you know, I'm wearing more of a dewy concealer, I don't feel that I need highlight. And when I'm feeling lazy, I think color matters a lot more to me than adding highlight to the face. If we have prepped the skin really well, hopefully the sort of angles in our face will capture light on their own without having to necessarily need a highlight. So what I actually like to do now is go into either the eyes or the eyebrows. Personally, for me, I find that a really pretty defined eyebrow is what I will go for. When I'm going for lazy makeup, I feel very put together when my eyebrows are a little bit thicker and sort of defining my face. But another option is to really define the lashes. With lazy makeup, you can definitely do both, but again, this is definitely a less is more. Don't feel like being in the mirror and staring at myself for 10 hours. So what I like to do is shape the brows, and I'll show you what I do on my eyes in a second. Just brush up my brows. This is my Hourglass arch brows, and something I really enjoy about this is that the actual product has a softness to it and almost looks like powder once it's applied, which if you are doing lazy quick makeup, you could certainly use just a brow gel that's tinted, and that will give you color and pigment very easily. Like I said before, taking a couple of seconds to really define and shape out the brows, I personally feel like it turns the entire look into looking like you actually put some effort in. Working with the brows, you know, when you define them properly, when you really give them the sort of love and attention that they might need, I mean, it really changes the face. I mean, we've all seen the pictures of people like brow transformation pictures, and I think brows are even more important than we sometimes realize. Like, I've had so many times when I've skipped brows and I've just felt like, I look fine today. But if I had taken the time to just quickly do the brows, put some powder in, even if it was more of like a softer brow look, even now I just feel like more myself. I feel more defined. I think it brings out a lot of my features as well. That doesn't mean that you need to take 10 hours to do like a microbladed effect brow. Like, just picking out brow products that you find to be very quick but also give you a soft defined look is really key for me when I'm doing lazy makeup. But moving on to the eyes, one thing that I definitely would recommend is curling the lashes. Even if you're feeling lazy, taking the 2 seconds to do that is really going to widen the eyes, and using a curler that really gets every single lash is going to make a huge difference. It makes the eyes look so much brighter and more awake every time I use it. I've used it for a very long time. I mean, I have them everywhere in my makeup room. There is one mascara that I have always gone back to because it walks a really beautiful line between giving you a very soft and fluttery but defined look, and then also you can build it up to give you a little bit more like va boom, and it's just so easy. You're never going to apply it and be like, shit, I have a bunch of clumps in my lashes. I shouldn't have worn mascara at all. Lash Blast from Covergirl. This has been out for a very, very long time, but I have used this since high school. I think like since freshman year of high school. It's been a very long time. So I am just going to define the lashes super softly, because again, I think we have enough definition going on with the brows, but just a touch. See, just a touch. That was not a lot of mascara at all. Just a little bit of featheriness, something to just slightly frame the eyes really, really goes a long way. And I feel like when you're using products that do the heavy lifting, like a really good lash curler and a mascara that never looks heavy on the eyes, even doing like quick lazy day makeup can still look really fresh. And next I will use my Laneige Lip Glowy Balm, because sometimes I really just don't want a product with a lot of color. This does have like a slight peach tint, but it is hydrating, which is really important. It keeps my lips nourished throughout the day. It gives them a little bit of light. It smells absolutely divine, but it's also just so fuss-free. It defines the lips a little bit, gives them a touch of color, but it's not a lot of pigment on your lips that you have to worry about. So guys, this is my lazy day makeup look. It helps me feel put together, which is obviously like really important right now when a lot of us are feeling a little bit scattered sometimes. I think with this makeup look, it's quick, and if I just force myself to put on a little bit of makeup, sometimes it can just really brighten my mood, make me feel a little bit more like myself. That's not always the case. Like sometimes I really need to just face plant into a pillow and stay there. But other times when I just want a quick, fast makeup tutorial, this is what I will go with. I hope that you guys enjoyed today's video, and if you did, please make sure to give this a thumbs up, and I would love for you to subscribe as well. So with all of that, I will see you in my next one.